What is going on, guys? My name is Stuber, and I'm here to break down the New York Giants versus Washington football team showdown slate on Draftkings.com. If you guys are new here or haven't done so already, I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe, like this video, and then comment below with your favorite play of the day. Really helps out the algorithm, gets me more views, gets my videos out to more people, and slowly but surely grow our community. If you haven't done so already as well, make sure to join that Discord. It is linked down below. And of course, guys, if you guys are wanting to know exactly what I'm doing on DraftKings and FanDuel.com, amongst other sites like Underdog Fantasy, Thrive Fantasy, and PrizePicks.com, you guys can join my Patreon down below, $25 for the month. I think it's a pretty good deal. Content coming out quite a bit, and I put a lot of time and effort into it. But let's just jump right into this slate. One last thing I would like to mention before this. Yeah, I've said it over and over and over again. I feel like a broken record, but you guys really do need to be taking advantage of when sites are running promotions and running like these contests that aren't even close to filling. Last week, their big contest over here on Thrive Fantasy didn't even fill halfway. It was really easy to cash out. When I made the video yesterday, I was talking about it. The contest for Sunday, 50,000 guaranteed contest, was only 1% filled. We go 24 hours later, only 2% filled. So yeah, this contest is more than likely not going to fill by a large margin. And if you guys do deposit $20 right now, they will not only double it, they will double any deposit bonus up to $100. But if you deposit $20, you will receive a free ticket to Thursday's NFL contest, which I'll help you guys out with in here. You'll have a good idea of what to do. That contest probably is not going to fill, and you will also receive a $20 ticket to the Sunday contest. So if you deposit $20, you'll get $40 in your account plus two $20 tickets, $80 value for $20. And if you guys just want to deposit $10, they will double that. You'll have $20, and then you can enter one of these contests. And make sure to use code Stuber, S-U-B-E-R, when doing so, so you can be eligible for that. Or use the link down below in the description or in the pinned comment. Really helps me out. Trying to seek out some more sites like this where you can really spread out your money, where you're getting your action from, and take advantage of these promotions in overlay to help you be profitable over the course of a season. But yeah, we'll start with this New York Giants versus Washington football team. Look at the Vegas lines. Opened at 42.5 points, and despite only 49% of the bets coming in on the under, it dropped 2 points, which means a lot of the sharp money is on the under, and I tend to agree. Now, one thing I didn't agree on is the Giants going down from 4.5 point dogs to 3 point dogs. Although if it is going to be such a low scoring game, obviously the spread is probably going to be shorter. But I think this New York Giants team is just going to really struggle to get anything going against a much tougher defense than they saw last week in the Denver Broncos when they're playing the Washington football team at home, coming off of a loss. I feel like although the Giants O-line did play pretty well, I think Chase Young is going to be a problem for Daniel Jones in this New York Giants offense. And we've already seen that Saquon Barkley, as of Wednesday, ended up on the injury report as questionable with a knee injury, coming off of that injury of last season ending. Coach Joe Judge did mention that they are very adamant about bringing him along slowly, and this New York Giants offense as a whole. The play style that they want to play, they need to be very efficient, and Daniel Jones is not that guy. I really struggled to see this Giants offense doing all that much in this game because they don't take chances downfield. They just dink and dunk, a Tom Brady-esque style, but Daniel Jones is not Tom Brady. So that's part of the reason why this offense and team as a whole just doesn't really work out all that much. We'll start with the Washington football team, and we'll start near the top with my favorite play of the slate, and that is going to be Antonio Gibson at 9,600. Absolutely love him today. Going to be my favorite captain play likely going to be my captain play in single entry and small field contest. Check out my Patreon if you want to know exactly what I'm doing. But he was 5th in the league last week in backfield opportunities, carries plus targets at 89%, a 24% target share. He had 5 targets, which led the team. Surprisingly enough, I think Washington passes a bit more in this game, just since Taylor Heineke does have a full week of reps under his belt with the first team. Antonio Gibson, yeah, that 24% target share was 2nd in the league in terms of running backs target share compared to their team. He had 23 touches, which it was the 2nd most in his career. You know, it's only his 2nd year, but it is promising that he is looking to have that 2nd year leap as a running back. And he fumbled twice last week, and they continue to give him the ball. So he is their guy. I'm not really concerned. Only lost one of those fumbles, but yeah, it's good to see that even if he does fumble a couple of times, they're going to go back to the well with him. And then Melvin Gordon last week against this New York Giants team ripped off a near 80-yard touchdown. Now, Melvin Gordon, in my opinion, is pretty close to being dust, and Antonio Gibson has huge big play ability, and I think he can take advantage of this New York Giants defense. Taylor Heineke, I think, is a fine play as well, because I am going to play a couple of his pass catchers. I would just prefer Gibson in the captain spot, although Taylor Heineke does have some upside given his rushing ability. He is a dual threat quarterback. But I think that the way that they are going to run this offense is going to cater to Taylor Heineke, so it's going to be lower ADOT kind of stuff. So the upside really isn't there all that much for Taylor Heineke. I think he has a safe floor, but for upside purposes, I'm going with Antonio Gibson. I think he could see the ball 20-plus times yet again as a home favorite. Terry McLaurin, $9,000, only saw 4 targets last week, but I think that with a full week of reps, first team reps from Taylor Heineke, I think McLaurin is going to I think they're going to look to get him the ball a lot more in this game than they did last week. We kind of get the Allen Robinson effect with Terry McLaurin, where he's a uber talented wide receiver, but he's kind of held back and restrained by bad quarterback play. Now, I don't think Taylor Heineke is that bad, but I think McLaurin, if he gets 7-8 targets in this game, which, he really should be on a week-to-week basis with how good he is, no matter what the game script is, he is more than worth this price tag. Logan Thomas at $7,400 played 100% of the offensive snaps last week and is one of the lower ADOT kind of guys for the Washington football team. So I could see him being a popular target for Taylor Heineke. Only saw 3 targets last week, caught all 3 of them, even caught a touchdown. I would expect those targets to raise a bit this week as well. And then I don't necessarily ever look to play defenses, especially at 5,600, but I think this Washington football team has a good chance at being in the optimal lineup this week. We've seen that Daniel Jones, I think they struggle to move the ball up and down the field. And, with the play style that they play with, you would imagine Daniel Jones wouldn't turn the ball over because they don't take risks at all. But somehow he's managed to have 40 turnovers in 28 games. It is abysmal. He takes sacks. Washington can pressure the ball. Washington doesn't allow big plays. And that's what I'm really looking for. I'm really looking at pressure at the quarterback, and Daniel Jones does not handle that very well at all, as you see his turnovers over the course of his career. So I think at 5,600, I don't know how popular they are going to be, but I don't mind getting to them. And then my favorite punt play on the slate is going to be De'Ami Brown at 1,400, played 97% of these snaps. Curtis Samuel was placed on IR just before last week, and De'Ami Brown was the rookie or replaced him. Now, he didn't put up a very good stat line. Actually, he put up 1 catch for 4 yards, but he had 4 targets, which is the promising thing, and as well as playing 97% of the snaps, the clear wide receiver too. Adam Humphries was in the slot, and then I was kind of concerned about Cam Sims, just going out there and running around like we've seen in the past for the Washington football team, but he only saw 2 snaps. So De'Ami Brown, $1,400. If we're going to see him get 4+ targets, he's more than worth this price tag. I already placed a prop bet on the over of his receiving yards, which was at about 26.5 yards follow me on Twitter if you guys want to have my free prop bets that I post pretty often nowadays. But yeah, now with a full week of starting reps for Taylor Heineke, I think that De'Ami Brown, who is a very talented receiver, I was on him a lot in Underdog. Now, I think that he can come to fruition more so this week against the New York Giants. Like him quite a bit at 1,400. Daniel Jones. So I do want to mention that Evan Ingram is ruled out again. So without Evan Ingram for the New York Giants, Kyle Rudolph should grab the start. Again, he ended up playing 77% of the snaps last week. Ended up with 5 targets, which is promising considering the Giants should be playing from behind, and he is a low ADOT kind of guy. So could play into the hands of Daniel Jones and Coach Joe Judge's play style. Ended up with only 2 catches for 8 yards, but he is very, very affordable. All the way down here at 3,200, we are going to monitor Saquon Barkley's knee injury. He did end up on the injury report like I talked about earlier, questionable with a knee injury, but I do tend to believe that he's going to play in this game, but they may continue to limit him. We saw last week that Barkley only played I believe it was 48% of the snaps in week 1, saw 10 carries and 3 targets, only came down with 1 of those targets. So I'm going to be avoiding Saquon Barkley like the plague. And then Daniel Jones, 10,400. You know, if you're playing cash games, I think that his rushing ability really buoys his floor. Now, I think his upside is kind of capped in this matchup just because I don't think he gets any big plays in this game. And with the Washington team being so good and not allowing big plays, that kind of takes away guys like Slayton and Kenny Galladay who kind of rely on those deeper balls. And we're probably not going to see that in this game. And we're going to see the likes of Sterling Shepard see a ton of targets this week. He is Daniel Jones' far and away favorite target, favorite receiver to target. And we saw it last week. He is the most familiar with him out of the three wide receiver set that they run. He ended up seeing 9 targets, had 7 catches, 113 yards, and a touchdown. $8,000. He's by far my favorite New York Giant play on this slate, followed by probably Daniel Jones and Kyle Rudolph. But more than likely, I'm probably going to be playing a 4-2 roster construction in favor of Washington football team. Maybe a 5-1 if I find that. I just find it hard to it's hard for me to believe that the Giants are going to really move the ball at will against this team. So I don't know how many touchdowns they end up scoring, and so I think that they might move the markers a couple times and just really pepper some low ADOT catches, which can rack up the fantasy points for guys like Sterling Shepard and Kyle Rudolph. So yeah, I'm really focusing on those 2 or 3 guys on the Giants, and then mostly on the Washington football team. I hope this helps you guys out. I will try to live stream tomorrow to answer some questions about this, but answering most of my questions in the Patreon and then in my free Discord linked down below. Would really appreciate if you guys could join that. Help grow this community. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and like this video. Really helps out the algorithm. But yeah, appreciate you guys being here. Best of luck in this showdown slate. I'll see you guys in the contest. Until next time, peace.